And was thinking about how easy it is to distinguish evergreens from deciduous, but how do you tell the difference between the leafy trees?
John's like, yes, it's cherry. It's this type of cherry. Yeah.
Don't you wish that you were that well versed in something?
Ice cold, but not frozen maple water out of a bucket. Tree, you may never have thought of it, but when you look, they've got the deep, dark brown ridges in them.
Oh, that was great.
The Helpful Gardeners, the podcast that digs into the buzziest plant trends and news you need to know, regardless of your growing zone. Colin is a skilled horticulturist with decades of growing experience across Canada. Brandi is the greenest of green thumbs with a love of asking questions. Welcome to our garden nook.
Our friend Annie online saw a robin. It's February.
So
does that not seem early? And there was photographic evidence.
It seems too
Isn't that wild? So we are in Calgary, Alberta.
Oh my God.
And usually, when would you say the robins usually come around?
I want to say end of March, beginning of April.
Like it's usually on our Springo sheet, not on our winter sheet.
Windigo. Yeah.
Windigo sheet.
Because normally when the spring, melodies start and you start hearing that chorus.
Yeah.
Robin is one of the few birds a lot of people can pick out because they come earlier than all of the other ones. So you after the kind of the quiet of the winter, that's one of the first ones you hear.
Yes.
But I always want to say definitely after daylight savings.
Yes, exactly. Like just last week, we were talking about clapback chickadees. And that's the bird that we see around this time of year, not robins.
Yeah.
So I thought that was... So what does a robin say?
Oh, robins are...
Oh, that was great. Bravo.
Yeah, thank you.
So robin, I see, I don't know what's going to, I even saw like some geese the other day.
Yeah.
Like I know when, we talked about this last week, but winter in Calgary has been very odd. It's been a lot warmer than normal. And so I think a lot of the cycles that normally happen over winter time are kind of out of whack a little bit. But I thought that was really cool when I saw that online. And something that came in on the question line this week was from our friend Lynn, who said, I was out walking the other day, great weather to do it, if you're in Calgary, that is, and was thinking about how easy it is to distinguish evergreens from deciduous, but how do you tell the difference between the leafy trees? Are there tricks? First of all, great job getting out in wintertime. Yeah. I find it very hard to get out in wintertime, so great job on that. And I never really thought about this before.
This is definitely going more into the world of arborism than horticulture.
Oh.
Okay, so this is a more highly trained skill for arborists.
Okay.
But it is the difference in bark. And the reason I know that is I've worked pretty closely with a number of different arborists. They do a lot of tree pruning in the winter. Mm-hmm. They have to be able to recognize what tree.
Good point.
So you've got 8-9 trees on your property and you go, I need you to prune my apple. Uh-huh. They better be able to tell what's an apple.
Yeah, exactly.
So what you're looking for is there are one that I'm going to name right off and everybody's going to be like, oh yeah, I could recognize that.
Yeah.
Paper birch.
Oh, okay. So paper birch is more white?
Yep. And it's the one where the bark almost peels off and so it looks like paper. Mm-hmm. Apple tree, you may never have thought of it, but when you look, they've got the deep, dark brown ridges in their bark. Mm-hmm. Okay. Poplar is like that kind of green, smooth.
Okay. Yeah.
Wood. Yeah. So that, and then you've got other tricks as well. And look at the shape.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So columnar. Mm-hmm. So if somebody's like, I need you to do my columnar aspen, you go, oh, okay. I can kind of get that. I know what. But when you start getting into it and then you start asking people for maybe a different variety, are you talking, I need you to prune my apple tree, but I don't want you to prune my Golden Delicious. I want you to prune my Granny Smith.
Oh my gosh, like impossible, right?
I believe it's doable, but again, that's why I wanted to say this is an arborism. Like this would be a better question for the minutia to an arborist rather than to me.
Yeah, because I bet you they can get right into like the little nodes and like on every branch and that kind of thing.
When you look at an apple tree, you see the spurs.
Yes.
Okay. And those little spurs, the little 2-inch nubs that come out of all the branches on an apple tree, well, maybe they're a different size and shape. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's different colorations you're looking for. I'm pretty good at being able to name like the big broad sections, like, oh, that's an oak, that's an apple,
right,
cherry. I can start getting into those. You start telling me to pick out of that. I'm not going to say I wouldn't do it with a lot of confidence.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. You know, I was even thinking about some answers to this question. And if you see old fruit on it, that might also be an indication.
Great tip. Yeah.
Right? That might be, because I know our tree out front is an ornamental crabapple. And so it's very tiny, and so much so that they don't even really fall off in the wintertime.
Nice.
Deer come in, they chow down, it feeds the birds in the wintertime, which is great. So that has also been a really nice indicator.
Ash is a good indicator for that. That's it.
Bright orange ones?
The red or orange, yeah.
Yeah. So, right. They can feed the wildlife in the wintertime. I was also thinking about how, you know, it might not be your initial thought to take a picture and then go visit a garden center, but I was just downstairs asking our team about it. And they were like, oh, we have tree experts here year round. And I know you said arborist, and I know we work with a lot of horticulturists. So maybe, again, it might not be like 100% answer, but if you're just like, I here's the bark of the tree and I don't really know what this is, that could be an option for you.
At the very least. And that's the thing, is that I guarantee there are people out there listening to this podcast or who live within a 2-kilometer radius of Golden Acre who are neither in horticulture or arborism, who can probably identify them.
Oh,
because there are, like I've said this before, there are people out there that have no formal education and no formal career pathway in the world of gardening, horticulture, who are better gardeners than I am.
Right.
I am not that egotistical to think that I am better, because they have done it themselves with a passion for decades.
Yeah.
How can I be better than that?
Yeah.
10,000 hours.
Yeah.
Right? So you come in and you go, hey, I'm looking at this tree. Can you identify it? But not only will they tell you they don't know, they will be like, I know somebody who does know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember getting a picture one time. They asked me what kind of tree it was. It was one of those pictures that, no offense to them, wasn't a very good picture.
Oh, no.
So I was like, I'm 90% sure that's a cherry.
Oh.
Okay, based on the shape, the color of the bark, and the leaves. But it was blurry, slightly out of focus, overexposed because they took it at like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. I forwarded that picture to our friend Jean. No kidding. 30 seconds later, my phone buzzed with yes, it was a cherry and the type of cherry.
You're kidding. He
and
knew?
Do you need some tips on pruning?
What? Just go the extra mile, right?
From a terrible picture that I was only 90% sure was a cherry. John's like, yes, it's cherry. It's this type of cherry. Yeah.
Don't you wish that you were that well versed in something?
I mean, I'm pretty good on things like that. But when I see that with John, I'm just like, damn.
You're amazing.
But it's always, you know what? It's always good to get that. It's always good to get our ego in check and realize not any one of us know everything about everything.
Yeah.
There's always room to learn and grow.
Yeah. Thank goodness there's specialists, right? That we can, so that we don't have to know everything.
But I liked your idea, what you said there about the fruit, because there's other things, like we talked about shape, we talked about fruit. Pretty sure most of us can recognize things like raspberries and roses.
Yep.
Okay, so that's indicated. Dogwoods, some species of dogwoods, because they've got the blood red stems that come out. So,
what are those trees that are like weep? They weep.
A lot of times so everybody, well, not everybody, a lot of people immediately say weeping willow.
Right.
Normally they're a weeping birch.
Okay, weeping birch. Because that's another thing I noticed when I was out walking the other day. I noticed there's this huge tree and they have those little weeping branches. And a lot
branches. Of them, they hold those little fuzzy like seed pods on them.
Yeah. Seed pods, another one.
There you go. And see, I was always, the arborists I've been around, they always do it by bark.
Yeah.
And these are the ones, I mean, I've been around a lot of them, so I have to believe it's an industry standard.
Yes.
The reason for that is because there's no guarantee that you're going to go to a tree and you're going to see fruit. Okay, you're going to see seed pods. So they always go by the bark, and these guys are damned good.
Yeah.
But for the layperson, look for all the other clues.
Yes.
Look for the indicators.
Yeah. I actually saw this article on Horticultural Magazine, and they were talking about how a black walnut twig, it'll actually have like the leaf scars where the leaf has come off will actually resemble a monkey face. So you can kind of look to see where the leaves come off and then what mark they leave behind. And then if you want to get really nerdy, then you look up that and then see what tree it might be.
I remember, oh my God, I was before my time in horticulture at all. And I was working on that farm.
Right.
So on the East Coast, anybody who's been there or lived there or whatever, there are a lot of maples. Okay. There are a ton of maples. They grow in the city. You know how we have to have those specialized like Jack Frost maple variety. So in Montreal, you can plant a Japanese maple. Okay. And it's a tree. It's not an annual or needs special care. Sure. But anyway, I worked at the farm, and in the winter they did maple syrup production.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we would go out into a forest and we would have to tap the maple trees only.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the sugar maples only. You couldn't tag the other maples.
So how did you figure out?
I didn't. I was 20 years old, so I just followed the guy. His name was Dominic. He was awesome. He was Dominique. Actually, I should pronounce his name correctly. And he would go ahead and he would have like a kind of chalk or a wax pen, and he would just mark the tree. And then, and I don't remember the math, depending on the caliper of the tree, the circumference of the trunk dictates how many times you can drill it. So we'd have the measure and we go, okay, we can do 2, drill, tap, tap, hang the buckets, and away you go. But he would go out. We would have to collect the buckets. He never, I mean, maybe he missed a tree, but he never tapped an incorrect tree. So
when you tap a tree, maple, obviously it'll come out. Are there any other trees that you know of where the sap will just kind of run like that?
All of them, really. Oh. All of them, really. We just do the maple because it tastes so good.
Yeah.
Because all that happens is you tap it in the winter, and then in the spring, you're walking through the forest and you hear like ding, ding, ding.
So
and it's
cool.
The water dripping into the buckets. And then sometimes you'll actually hear it like, you know, when you turn the tap and it's on, but it's not on, you've got that very thing like the ones that make you need to take a pee in the morning.
It'll go that fast.
It'll run that on some of the big ones.
Wow.
And it's during the thaw. So all the sap starts moving.
Wow.
And then nothing tastes better than drinking ice cold, but not frozen maple water out of a bucket. The only problem is, heads up, if ever you do that, be aware that maple water is a diuretic.
You're kidding.
So be prepared to pee in a forest.
Wow. I had no idea.
It's a major diuretic. So you're like, oh my God, this is delicious. Oh my God, this is delicious. I got to pee really bad. That's
cool. If I was to visit Quebec, I would want to do that. Like, but somebody take me out.
Again, and here's the thing. I don't know that Dominique, I don't know that he could recognize any other type of tree. But he knew his maple trees. He knew his sugar maples. I imagine he knew some others. He was a very, very well-versed guy. Yeah. He was not a horticulturist. He was not an arborist. He was a farmer. Yeah. He was a farmer, but he knew his sugar maples. Yeah. So, you know, different people have different specialties in a specialized field. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. Well, I hope that you can kind of distinguish some trees in your community. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is over on our blog, goldenacre.ca/podcast, take a look at our recent blog post on this. And I'm actually going to post pictures of common bark and just do a nice surface level. Yep. And then, you know, go a little bit further if you want to. Take the deep dive. We're giving you permission to look at some of the, you know, what was it? The leaf marks and some of the buds and, you know, the fruit and that kind of thing if you want to get really nerdy. But we'll just start you off with a nice surface area, and then you can feel a little bit more empowered when you go out for a walk. I would also recommend visiting, if you live in Calgary, we have that tree identification system. So if you're out in the park, you know, you can go in. Tie-in, right? Yeah. You can go and take a look and you can zero in right where you were walking. And then hopefully, if it's a tree that's marked by the city, then you might be able to figure out. That, you know what? That would be kind of fun because you could go to a park, wherever, Confederation. Yeah. You could pick an area and you'd be like, I'm going to name these trees. Yeah. And then you've got your cheat sheet. You've got your answer sheet at the end, and you're like, I got 7 out of 10.
You know what? I wish there was a filter on Google for trees. You know, because like I do that when I'm on road trips. I look at all the mountains when we go to BC. I try and get all the names of all the mountains, and we go once a year. So I'm hoping that, you know, in like 10 years, I'm going to be well versed. I know this mountain, this mountain, this mountain, this mountain. It's a long road trip, so I'm going to need something to pass the time. Okay, well, thank you so much, Lynn, for your question this week. If you have a question that you want to ask us, that was a great question.
That was a great question. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. If it's something about a plant that you have, or if it's gardening related, or if you just want to know where Colin buys his orange sweaters, then you can comment on this podcast or go to our Instagram at The Helpful Gardeners Pod and ask there. Or our most favorite way to reach us is actually on our website, goldenacre.ca/podcast. And you can leave us a voice note and we'll play it on the show. You'll be a part of the show and you can ask your question and we'll answer it for you. No judgment here. We are wanting to learn along with you. So do that. And thanks again, Lynn, for your question. And we'll see you on Friday.
This podcast is brought to you by Golden Acre Home and Garden. Find seasonal inspiration for your home and garden in Calgary, Alberta year-round. Visit goldenacre.ca. The comments and opinions expressed by the Helpful Gardeners on this show are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Golden Acre Home and Garden. For more information on everything we covered today and to leave us a voice note, visit goldenacre.ca/podcast. The Helpful Gardeners are on Instagram at The Helpful Gardeners Pod. Keep on growing, gardeners!